Okay, so you've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something amazing, but then, crickets. It's like that feeling of throwing a party and nobody shows up.
Ouch. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it feels like to try and attract customers without like a solid lead generation strategy, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
But fear not, dear listener, because that's what we're diving into today.
Let's do it.
We're tackling Alex Hormozi's $100 in Leads, and this book is basically like the ultimate masterclass in filling that party with your ideal audience, like packed to the brim.
Right.
No more crickets. So we know you're here to learn how to attract more customers, scale your business, all that good stuff. And that's exactly what we're going to be unpacking in this deep dive.
And what I appreciate about Hormozi's approach is he's just very practical. Like there's no fluff.
Yeah.
Just actionable advice that you can use, like right away.
Totally, totally. And he starts off with a framework that he calls the core four. And it's all about like these four lead generation methods that really are the foundation of everything.
Yeah, it's like having a toolbox.
Right.
You wouldn't use a hammer to fix a leaky faucet.
Exactly.
You got to have the right tools for the job.
100%. So first up, we have, drumroll please, warm outreach.
Yes.
And this is where you're tapping into your existing network, right?
Yeah, like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Friends, family, former colleagues,
Exactly.
people you've already got some kind of relationship with.
And you know what? It's amazing how many people are willing to help or make an introduction if you just, like, ask. People want to support you.
Yeah, totally. It's about that trust factor that's already there.
Right. You're not starting from scratch. You already have that foundation.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we have free content. And this is where you get to position yourself as that go-to expert in your field.
Yeah, it's about giving away those golden nuggets, those valuable pieces of information, whether it's through a blog post, social media. Maybe you finally make that awesome YouTube tutorial you've been thinking about.
Yes. Become the YouTube star you were born to be.
Exactly.
No, but I love that. It's about, like, tapping into that human desire to learn something new.
Totally. It establishes you as an authority, builds trust over time.
It's a slow burn, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we've got the friendly wave of warm outreach, the slow burn of free content. Now let's crank things up with cold outreach. And this one can feel a little bit more intimidating, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you're reaching out to people who've never, like, heard of you before.
Exactly. So it's like that cold call, that cold email. You're trying to grab their attention.
Numbers game, right?
Yeah.
You got to be strategic. Your messaging has to be on point.
It's like that perfectly timed knock-knock joke. It's gotta be good.
Right.
Okay, and last but not least, we have paid ads.
Yeah.
And this is where you're putting your marketing budget to work.
But
Yeah.
he makes a really important point, which is don't even think about paid ads until you've got the first three methods down.
He's like, don't even try it.
Because it's like you're trying to run before you can walk, right?
It's true.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
You've got to have that solid foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got our core four. Warm outreach, free content, cold outreach, paid ads. We've got the tools. But how do we actually entice these leads? Make them want to, like, raise their hand and say, hey, tell me more.
That's where the lead magnet swaggers in.
Ooh, I like it. Tell me more.
It's kind of like, what if I told you I had this secret recipe for, like, the best chocolate chip cookies you'll ever have, but you can only have it if you promise to try it and tell me what you think.
I'd be like, sign me up.
Right. See, that's the power. It's about offering something so irresistible, so valuable, that people will happily give you their contact info in exchange. Right?
And they're like, I need that recipe.
Exactly.
So instead of a cookie recipe, maybe it's like a free ebook, a webinar, a discount code, a checklist.
Oh, checklists are gold. People love a good checklist.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like, give me all the checklists. So it's basically offering that sneak peek behind the curtain, that taste of the amazing value that you provide.
And it has to be genuine, right? It can't just be some flimsy thing you threw together in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It has to actually solve a problem for them or meet a need.
Yeah, and be good.
Right.
Like really, really good. Okay, that makes total sense. We've got our core four lead generation methods. We've got our lead magnet ready to go. It's enticing. It's irresistible. What's next?
Now we got to talk about consistency.
The magic ingredient for pretty much anything we want to succeed at in life.
Exactly. And this is where he introduces the rule of 100.
Rule of 100. Lay it on me.
So basically you have three options. You can either reach out to 100 people every single day. And this could be through email, phone calls, LinkedIn messages, whatever. Or you can spend 100 minutes creating high-quality content.
Okay, manageable. What's the third option?
Third option, spending $100 a day on advertising.
Okay.
Now, before you freak out,
Yeah, $100 a day.
it's about figuring out what works within your business, right?
Right. Not everyone has $100 a day to throw at Facebook ads.
Exactly. The key is find what works for you, but be consistent.
It's like that saying, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly.
You're not going to build a thriving business overnight. It takes dedication.
It's dedication, a little strategy.
Yes, strategy is
A
good.
little bit of hustle.
Love it. Okay, so we've got the foundation, we've got the lead magnet, we're being consistent. But how do we actually scale this whole thing? I mean,
Yeah.
reaching out to 100 people a day sounds a little, I love a challenge, but how do we take things to the next level without losing our minds?
This is where that more, better, new principle comes into play.
Oh, okay.
So think of it like tending a garden, right? You can plant more seeds, which is basically just increasing the volume of what you're already doing.
Okay.
So if your cold outreach is killing it, double down, do more of it.
Got it. So more is like, if it's working, amplify it. What about better?
Better is about refining your approach. So maybe you revamp your lead magnet, maybe you tweak your outreach message, optimize your website.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Okay, love it. And then there's new.
New is like exploring uncharted territory. So trying a new social media platform, maybe partnering with another business.
Ooh, collaboration.
Yes, branching out, doing something different.
I love it. Okay, more, better, new. It's like we're expanding our lead generation empire.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
love it. Okay, but I have a confession. I'm like a total organization freak.
Oh, me too.
Yes. Systems, please.
Be all the systems.
All the things that make life easier.
Yes.
So how can we bring some order to this whole lead generation chaos?
Well, automation can be your new best friend, right?
Yes. Tell me more.
Think about an email sequence that automatically nurtures those leads for you, guides them through your sales funnel. You don't even have to lift a finger.
Okay, now we're talking. What else can we automate? Give me all the automation.
A customer relationship management system, or CRM, is like having a personal assistant that remembers every interaction you've ever had.
Okay, so it's about creating that system, that well-oiled machine. I love it.
It works while you sleep.
Yes. Okay, but generating leads, that's only half the battle, right? We need to convert those leads into, happy paying customers. What happens after they, take the bait? They download the lead magnet, then what?
Right. They're on the hook. Now you got to reel them in.
Okay, so how do we reel them in?
We're going to talk about conversion.
Ooh, yes.
Luckily, Hormozi's got some seriously good tactics up his sleeve.
Hit me with them. I want to know. What are these magical conversion tactics?
Well, I don't know about magical, but they're definitely rooted in, psychology, understanding human behavior, right?
Okay.
So we're talking social proof, scarcity, urgency,
Wait, are those the same things that make me hit that buy now button at 2 in the morning?
maybe, potentially. But
Wow.
in all seriousness, they work when they're used correctly. When they're used ethically, they can be incredibly effective.
Oh, okay. I'm listening. Tell me more.
Okay, let's start with social proof. Have you ever, been more likely to buy something because it has, a gazillion 5-star reviews?
Yes. Every single time. If it's got the social proof, I'm sold.
Right, because it's like a stamp of approval.
Exactly.
It's like having a friend recommend something, but times 1,000.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's scarcity. That feeling oh my gosh, I got to get it now before it's gone.
Exactly. Limited time offers, only 2 left in stock.
Don't even get me started.
It creates that fear of missing out, all right?
Yes. The FOMO is real.
And then there's urgency, which is like scarcity's pushy cousin.
Okay, okay.
It's that feeling that you need to act now.
Like those countdown timers.
Yes, they get you
Ugh.
every time. But when they're used strategically, they work.
They do. They really do. Okay, so we've got social proof, we've got scarcity, we've got urgency. What other, psychological ninja tactics does Hormozi have up his sleeve?
He also talks about the power of reciprocity. You know that feeling when someone gives you something of value, you almost feel obligated to, give something back?
Oh, 100%. It's oh, you got me a gift, I got to get you a gift.
Right. So maybe a business offers, a free trial or a valuable piece of content, and then in return, you're more inclined to become a customer.
Makes sense. It's like that give and take. Okay, so reciprocity, I like it.
And then speaking of give and take, referrals.
Ah, yes. Good old-fashioned word of mouth. There's nothing more powerful than a personal recommendation.
100%. And he emphasizes that businesses Should really be encouraging and incentivizing referrals from those happy customers they already have.
Yeah, because happy customers are your best marketers.
Exactly. Give them a reason to spread the word. Give them a discount. Give them something.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've got our core four, our lead magnets, our commitment to consistency, how to scale, and those like psychological principles. But here's the million-dollar question. How do we actually understand what motivates people to buy? It's like we need to be mind readers.
Right. Get in their heads. It's not always obvious, but luckily we don't need to resort to mind reading. We just need to understand buyer psychology.
Okay, buyer psychology. Is it really as simple as figuring out what makes people tick?
Yeah, in a nutshell, it's really about understanding the why behind the buy. Why do people choose one product over another?
Yeah.
What are those deeper motivations, those fears, those desires?
So it's about going beyond the surface level, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this whole buyer psychology thing after a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back and ready to dive deeper into this whole buyer psychology thing. Like we're putting on our detective hats, right? Trying to get inside the minds of our ideal customers.
Exactly. We're looking for those aha moments, those clues that tell us what makes them tick, what motivates them to hit that buy button.
So where do we even begin? How do we actually uncover those hidden motivations?
Well, one powerful tool is something called customer avatars. It's basically like creating a profile of your ideal customer.
Okay, so instead of just saying, I want to sell to like women aged 25, 35, we're getting way more specific than that.
Way more specific. We're talking demographics, yeah, but also their values, their pain points, their aspirations. What keeps them up at night? What are they passionate about?
So we're really trying to step into their shoes, understand their world.
Exactly. The more detailed you can get, the better, because then you can tailor your message to really resonate with them. Speak directly to their needs and desires.
It's like you're having a conversation with them, even though you've never actually met.
Exactly. And that understanding will inform everything from the lead magnets you create to the ads you run.
Powerful stuff. It's amazing how much we can learn when we take the time to really understand our audience. It's like unlocking a secret code.
Absolutely. And that deeper understanding will make you a better marketer and honestly help you create better products and services too.
It's a win-win. So we've got our customer avatars fleshed out. We understand our audience. We're creating great content, putting ourselves out there. But I'm curious, what are some common mistakes people make when it comes to lead generation? What should we be avoiding?
Oh, there are definitely some pitfalls. I think one of the biggest ones is being too salesy too soon.
Yes, guilty as charged. It's like we're so excited about what we have to offer, we forget to actually build a relationship first.
Exactly. Remember, lead generation is about building trust, nurturing those relationships. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So instead of hitting them with a sales pitch right away, we should focus on providing value, establishing ourselves as a resource they can trust.
Exactly. People buy from people they like and trust. Nobody wants to feel pressured or tricked into a sale.
Makes sense. So less selling, more serving.
You got it. Offer value, build relationships, and the sales will follow naturally.
Okay, I love that. So being too salesy is a no-no. What other lead generation traps should we watch out for?
Another big one is neglecting to track your results.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
It's great to have all these strategies, but if you're not measuring what's working, what's not, you're kind of just shooting in the dark.
It's like cooking without tasting as you go. You might end up with something totally inedible.
Exactly. Track your website traffic, your email open rates, your lead magnet downloads, all of it. That data will tell you what's resonating and where you need to adjust.
Data is king. Okay, so we're tracking our progress, making adjustments as needed, but how do we actually turn those leads, those warm leads, into paying customers? What happens after that initial point of contact?
That's where lead nurturing comes in. It's about staying top of mind, continuing to provide value even after they've downloaded your lead magnet or attended your webinar.
Okay, so it's about continuing the conversation, showing them we're not just going to disappear after they hand over their email address.
Exactly. Think email sequences, free training videos, even just personal check-ins. Stay connected, build that relationship, and hopefully it turns into a sale.
So it's like dating, but for our business.
Right. You're not going to propose on the first date,
Exactly.
but you are going to be your best self, show them a good time, and keep that conversation going.
I love that analogy. Okay, so we're warming up those leads, nurturing those relationships. But let's talk about something I think a lot of people struggle with. Fear of rejection.
The dreaded fear of rejection. We all deal with it.
Right. It can feel so personal, especially when it's our business on the line.
Totally. But the key is to remember that not everyone is going to be the right fit for what you offer. And that's okay.
It's like dating. Not every first date is going to lead to a second date, and that's okay.
Exactly. Rejection is just redirection. It's about finding those people who are truly a good fit for what you offer.
That's a good way to look at it. It's not about us. It's about finding the right people who will benefit from our work.
Exactly. And when you truly believe in what you're offering, that confidence will shine through.
So confidence is key. But what about those days when we're feeling anything but confident? What about imposter syndrome?
Oh, we all have those days. It's normal to feel insecure sometimes, especially when we're putting ourselves out there.
So it's not about eliminating those negative thoughts altogether, but more about learning how to manage them.
Exactly. One helpful technique is to try and reframe those negative thoughts as opportunities for growth.
So instead of, I'm not good enough, it's, what can I learn from this? How can I improve?
Exactly. Shift from a place of fear to a place of curiosity. And remember, you're not alone in this. Everyone feels insecure sometimes.
It's comforting to know we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about overcoming fear of rejection, but what about actually making the ask? How do we confidently ask for the sale without feeling pushy or salesy?
That's where really understanding your value proposition comes in. What makes you unique? Why should someone choose you over all the other options?
So it's about communicating our value clearly and confidently.
Exactly. When you truly believe in what you offer, asking for the sale becomes less about selling and more about inviting them to experience something they'll love.
I love that. It's an invitation, not a demand.
Precisely. And when you come from a place of service and authenticity, it doesn't feel icky or uncomfortable. It's
Yeah.
just a natural part of the conversation.
Shifting our mindset from selling to serving. Okay, I can get behind that.
It makes all the difference.
This has been so helpful. We've covered so much ground when it comes to lead generation. But before we go too far down that road, I'm curious, with all this talk about AI and automation, do you think traditional lead generation is dead?
That's a great question, and it's one I hear a lot these days. While it's true technology is changing the game, I believe human connection will always be important.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. As much as I love a good automation tool, you can't replace that human element.
Exactly. AI can enhance our efforts, but it can't replace genuine human interaction.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where technology and human connection meet.
Exactly. Use the tools to your advantage, but never underestimate the power of building real
Wow,
relationships.
I love that. So the future of lead generation is looking bright. It's about embracing those human elements and using technology to enhance, not replace, our efforts.
Absolutely. And as technology continues to evolve, we'll continue to adapt and find new ways to connect with our ideal customers.
This has been such a great conversation. I feel like I've learned so much. But before we wrap things up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's just starting out on their lead generation journey? What do you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I'd tell myself to relax a little. Don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. Lead generation is a journey, and you're going to learn as you go.
So it's okay to not have all the answers right away, to stumble a little as we figure things out.
Absolutely. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Experiment, track your results, and find what works for you and your business.
Find your own lead generation groove. I love it.
Exactly. It's about being open to trying new things and learning along the way.
This has been an incredible conversation. I feel like I could talk about lead generation all day, but we've reached the end of our deep dive for today.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
But before we say goodbye to our amazing listeners, we want to leave you with a final thought.
Something to ponder as you navigate the exciting world of lead generation.
What if, instead of chasing after leads, you focused on creating a business so magnetic, so undeniably you, that the leads started chasing you?
I love that. Flipping the script, becoming a magnet for your ideal customers.
Right. But how do we actually become that magnetic? What are those irresistible qualities?
It goes back to everything we've been talking about. Understanding your audience, crafting a compelling brand story, providing exceptional value, building those genuine connections.
So it's not just about the product or service, it's about the entire experience.
Precisely. It's about creating a community, a movement, something people want to be a part of.
Becoming so good at what you do, people can't help but tell their friends.
Exactly. It's about building something you believe in, something that resonates with your audience, something they're proud to support.
I love that. This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I hope you're feeling as energized and inspired as I am.
Me too. It's always fun to geek out on this stuff and share some insights.
And remember, this is a journey. Don't be afraid to experiment, learn, grow, and ask for help along the way. Who knows, maybe someday we'll be featuring your business as a shining example of lead generation done right. Until then, happy lead generating.